everybody, welcome back to the channel. Griffin here. 18 holes for you today at Hunter's Glen Golf Course in Crivitz, Wisconsin. Teeing off just after 6 a.m. On a shorter course, admittedly, but one that isn't devoid of trouble. Today you won't see any drivers off any tees, given the length of the course. But also, it's not worth the risk when there's, enough fescue and woods around on most of the holes. We're short with our approach here on the first hole, but with an opportunity to get up and down, we give ourselves a chip that is in a reasonable spot. Decent distance, line or the read wasn't great, but we cash in for par. Good start. On to the second hole, which is a short par 3, playing a little bit longer than the card today. I have pitching wedge in hand, and this one is towering and ends up shorter than I thought it was, but with a chance at birdie. Now, I didn't hit any practice putts, surprise, but the pace is good here. It's the read that gives us the trouble. And we've got a little bit of a knee knocker for par. That didn't even touch the hole. That's disappointing. On to the third, another iron in hand. Maybe not a ton of trouble on this hole, but what's the risk? In hitting a club up there and still having a wedge in hand, driver just isn't necessary. Pitching wedge stayed a little bit left of my line here. I thought it was going to come out a little bit right. The distance is on point though. We've got a chance to get up and down. I do need some practice with my chipping, I'll admit that. I haven't spent any time on it this year, and it starts to show here on some of the holes. But we have a makeable par putt. Just about 5 feet here. Pace is good, but the line is just a little bit off. Luckily, we've got a par 5 coming up next. About as routine a birdie as you can have on a par 5. On to the fifth, having just gained a shot back. This iron off the tee is a little thin and slicey, but we're in the fairway and we've got a chance here to go after this pin. And gosh, gap wedge kind of let me down today. Normally a really reliable club. I ended up leaving this one quite short. I've got a 9 iron to kind of get it there this time, after some bang average chips on the previous couple of holes. And another kind of iffy distance for par, but we make it. All right, got a little momentum going here. Let's see if we can keep it up on the 6th. We striped this 3 iron. Just a nice high fade to it, taking it right down the center of the fairway. Lift ourselves with a decent number here. It's that pitching wedge again that comes out left. Now, we end up getting a little bit short-sided here, but it's not a complicated chip. I thought about this one a lot. I should have switched clubs. I have 56 in hand. I should have changed to a 60. And I end up putting way too much on it and leaving myself with roughly 12 feet for par when we should just be tapping in. And the putt's no good. You can see my reaction right away. I knew it never had a chance. So we're walking away with a bogey from the center of the fairway and 135 yards. On to the 7th. Hit this one good. Full 7 iron in hand now. Little slip, but it was a well-struck shot. We're going to end up pin high, just about 20 feet for birdie up the hill. Still can't quite get the line right. After a well-struck 8-iron that wasn't on camera, we've got a good chance at birdie here. This putt looked pretty good, but just not quite enough juice. And now we're tapping in for par. 2 over, headed into the 9th. Pretty pleased with where we're at here. This is a nice little coming together of a round. It's a great 2-iron off the tee there. We're really feeling it with the long irons today. I have 4-iron in hand. Just intending to lay up. Couldn't get it there if I wanted to, so we're looking to try to find a number inside 100. That's a little heavy, but you know, right down the middle, chance to hit our third shot close. So here we are with about 95 yards. This shot's good. It's right to the middle of the green. We're gonna give ourselves an uphill putt for birdie. I just really didn't hit this hard enough. Didn't really judge how uphill it was, and next putt is just a mental error. I gotta take my time on these 3-footers where there's a little bit of break to them. They matter. They impact your score, especially when you're trying to really, shoot low numbers, and a 3-putt from there is criminal. So we're onto the back 9 now, sticking with the irons off the tee. This one's a 3-iron. With 3 over par. It's a pretty good round we've got put together, but it's kind of in that situation where it could go either way. That is not an inspired start. But short hole, so we've got wedge in hand, and that just didn't come out clean. I think it was a little off the hosel, which fortunately wasn't a shank, but ends up short right. And now we've got a little pitch shot here, which have challenged me today. On to the 11th. Longer par 4 this time, but back to what's been working. This is the 3-iron, and I absolutely clobbered this one. Nice high fade up the right hand side, and now we've got 6-iron in from about 185 yards. I was aiming towards the center of the green and ended up pulling this one a bit. It was right on line, and now we've got about 15 feet for birdie. And the read is just a little bit off there. You can see maybe I thought I pulled it, but a par, we'll take it. Par 5 now. Could have taken driver out here. Bladed 3-iron, it really isn't any better, but there's water or a creek around 260 yards, and so it's not worth it. I absolutely crushed this 4-iron for my layup, giving myself just about 100 yards in to a pin kind of tucked on the right. Again, wasn't really trying to take it on, but ended up on the short side with a decent look at birdie. Again, just not quite enough pace. And now we've got a par 3, a little bit longer. I've got the 7-iron out, and this just starts right of my line and kind of keeps going right. I end up with a good 20 yards in front of me and hit a nice pitch shot. My line isn't great, but I definitely got it there this time. And we've got a chance to make par. You can see I tried to read this one from all over. Oh, didn't expect that to go in. So that's 7 pars in a row now, and we're on to a long par 3 17th. I've got 6 iron in hand to a front pin. This is just a little left of my line and ends up short left of the green with another one of these delicate pitch shots. And that one, while flighted nicely, just doesn't quite have enough on it. I really wish I could have a couple of these chips back. And that's our first bogey on the back. The par 4 18th is next. I'm taking this one just off the right side of the bunker, and I hit this 2 iron perfectly. Set up with just the gap wedge in. This one's all over it. Now after that bogey, we've got a chance at birdie to shoot par on the back. This one's just outside right, and we nailed it. So that's it. Par on the back, finishing with the 75. Lots of greens, good amount of fairways, stayed out of trouble, didn't lose a ball, and we posted our best round of the year. If you like this content, like and subscribe, and stick around for more each week.